Everyone had a theory: the therapists, the teachers, the specialists with their clipboards and their careful language, and their particular patients that ran out at the end of the session. They all said the same thing in different words: difficult, complex, needs time, needs consistency. Needs what she needed, nobody said. Her name was Mia. She was 8 years old. She had not spoken to anyone outside this house in 14 months. Not since the morning her mother did not wake up. Her father, who had built a company worth $7 billion and had solved problems that other people called unsolvable, could not reach her. He sat beside her bed every night. He read to her. He left her favorite food outside her door. He hired the best people available to help her. She let none of them in. Then on a Tuesday morning, a woman came to clean the house. Not a specialist, not a therapist, not someone hired for the specific purpose of reaching Mia. Just a woman with a cleaning bag and nowhere particular to be except here. She walked past Mia's room. She did not stop. She did not try. She simply said, without slowing down, without looking in, without the particular careful weight that everyone else brought to every interaction with this child, "Good morning. I'm going to be in the house today. I won't bother you." And she kept walking. Mia watched her go. And for the first time in 14 months, she got out of bed. His name was Daniel Ashworth. He was 42 years old and had built, in the 15 years since he had started with a logistics software company, and a belief that problems had solutions if you looked at them from the correct angle, something that the financial press called an empire, and that he called, when he was being honest, a distraction. Not always a distraction. There had been years when it was the point, when the building and the problem solving and the particular satisfaction of a decision made correctly had been enough, more than enough, the thing that gave the day its shape and the week its meaning. Those years had ended 22 months ago. On the morning Sophie died. She had been 38 years old and in excellent health by every measure available to a man with the resources to measure these things comprehensively. And she had gone to sleep on a Tuesday night and had not woken up on a Wednesday morning, and the particular randomness of this, the complete absence of warning, of process, of the kind of trajectory that allows for preparation, had been the thing Daniel had found most difficult to metabolize. He was good at preparation. He was good at anticipating problems and solving them and building systems that prevented them from occurring. He had applied this approach to his personal life with the same rigor he applied to his professional one, and had believed, in the particular way of people who have been consistently capable, that rigor was a form of protection. It was not protection. Sophie had been the protection. He understood this only after she was gone, understood that the warmth and ease and particular quality of their life together had not been produced by his capability, but by hers, by the specific genius of a woman who made everything feel possible without anyone noticing the work she was doing. Mia had noticed. Mia had noticed in the way that children notice the things adults are too busy to see, completely, accurately, without the softening that came with age and experience and the learned tendency to look away from difficult truths. Sophie had been the one Mia ran to. Sophie had been the one who knew which nightmares required company, and which required silence, and which required the specific song that Mia had heard as an infant, and still wanted at 8 years old when the dark was the wrong kind. Daniel had known about the song. He had sung it on the first nights. He had sung it badly, which Sophie had always done deliberately, had always made it slightly ridiculous so that Mia would laugh, and the laugh had been part of the comfort. But Daniel, in his grief, had sung it straight, and it had not produced a laugh, and he had understood, in the silence that followed, that he was singing it wrong in a way he did not know how to fix. Mia had closed the door 2 months after Sophie died. Not dramatically. She had simply, one morning, closed it. She had not opened it fully since. The first therapist was recommended by the school. She was a specialist in childhood grief, published, credentialed, experienced, and she had sat across from Mia in the particular way of someone trained to sit across from children, which involved a specific careful posture and a specific careful voice and the specific careful patience of someone who had been trained to wait. Mia had looked at her for 40 minutes and said nothing. Not hostility. Nothing. The particular nothing of a child who had looked at a situation and made an assessment and decided that the assessment did not require a response. The second therapist was different, less formal, play-based, the kind who arrived with materials and suggested activities and created the conditions for communication without demanding it. Mia had engaged with the materials. She had made things, careful, intricate things, the particular focused craftsmanship of a child for whom making was a language. She had shown the therapist what she made by holding it up briefly. She had not spoken. The third specialist was a psychiatrist who had been working with selective mutism for 20 years and who had told Daniel, after the third session, that Mia's silence was not pathological, was not a condition to be treated, but a decision to be respected. She's not broken, he had said. She's protecting herself. She'll speak when she has somewhere safe to speak. How do I make it safe? Daniel had said. You can't make it, the psychiatrist had said. You can only be present, consistently, without pressure. I'm present, Daniel had said. Yes, the psychiatrist had said. But you're present with the weight of needing her to be all right. She can feel that weight. It's heavy. Daniel had sat with that for a long time. He was still sitting with it when Rosa arrived. Her name was Rosa Mendez. She was 34. The agency file said reliable, experienced, available immediately. She had arrived on a Tuesday morning with a cleaning bag and the particular efficiency of someone who had done this work for long enough that it was simply work, not a statement about anything, not temporary, not something she was doing until something better came along. She had done the orientation with Mrs. Collins, the household manager, with the focused attention of someone who was learning what they needed to learn. She had walked past Mia's room. The door was open, not fully. The particular jar of someone who was present but not available. And Rosa had seen, in the gap, a child sitting on the floor with paper and scissors and the focused attention of someone who was making something. She had said good morning without stopping. She had said she was going to be in the house today and she wouldn't bother her. She had kept walking. Mrs. Collins, beside her, had said quietly, "She doesn't respond." "She hasn't spoken." "I know," Rosa said. Mr. Ashworth told the agency. She kept walking. "I wasn't trying to get her to respond." "Then why?" "Because she's a person in a house," Rosa said. "You say good morning to people in houses." Mrs. Collins looked at her. "It's just good manners," Rosa said. She got out of bed. This was the fact that Rosa did not know until later, until Mrs. Collins told her, 2 weeks in, with the expression of someone reporting a significant development. Mia had gotten out of bed and gone to the door and watched Rosa walk away down the corridor. She had not followed. She had gone back into her room, but she had gotten out of bed. On the second day, Rosa walked past again. Said good morning. Said she was going to be making some noise in the West Wing today, if that was all right. She did not wait for a response. She went to the West Wing. On the third day, Mia's door was slightly more open than usual, Rosa noticed. She did not react to noticing. She said good morning. She said she had brought something for the kitchen that she thought was interesting, and if Mia wanted to come and see it later, she was welcome to. She kept walking. She went to the kitchen. She was making lunch for herself, not for Mia. Not with any intention about Mia when she became aware that someone was standing in the kitchen doorway. She did not look up immediately. She finished what she was doing. She said, without turning, "The interesting thing is on the counter if you want to look." Mia came into the kitchen. She looked at the counter. On it, a small glass jar containing something, a plant in water, the roots visible, the particular experiment of something growing in the wrong medium. Mia looked at it for a long time. Rosa looked at it too. "It grows in just water," Rosa said. "No soil needed." "I find that interesting." Maya looked at the plant. Then she looked at Rosa. Then she went back to her room. But she had come into the kitchen. It became the kitchen. Not by design, by the particular accumulation of small things that become patterns without anyone deciding they should be patterns. Rosa worked. The jar was still on the counter. The roots were growing. On the fourth day, Mia came and stood beside the jar for 3 minutes. On the sixth day, she touched the glass. On the eighth day, she was in the kitchen when Rosa arrived in morning, and she had put the jar on the windowsill where the light was better. Rosa looked at the jar on the windowsill. "Good thinking," she said, and made coffee. She did not make a thing of it. That was the thing Daniel observed, watching from the hallway on the eighth day. Watching his daughter stand in the kitchen in the morning light with a woman who was making coffee and not making a thing of anything. He had been making a thing of everything. He understood this, watching. Every interaction with Mia had contained the weight of needing her to be all right. The meals outside the door had been weighted. The bedside readings had been weighted. The specialist had been weighted. Everything he did for her was freighted with his need for her to respond, to improve, to show him that she was going to be all right. Rosa made coffee. Mia watered the jar. Nobody needed anything. He introduced himself on the 9th day. Not formally. He had been in his own house, had come and gone, had seen Rosa in corridors with the polite acknowledgement of a household employer who had instructed the agency that the staff arrangement regarding his daughter should not be mentioned and had trusted it to run as arranged. She was in the kitchen at 7:30 in the morning. He came in for coffee. "Mr. Ashworth," she said, "I'll be out of your way." "Stay," he said. "Please." She stayed. He made his coffee. He sat. "She moved the jar," he said. "Yes," Rosa said. "She came into the kitchen," he said. "She's been coming in most mornings," Rosa said. He looked at her. "Mrs. Collins told me," he said. "About the first day, that she got out of bed." "Yes," Rosa said. "Because of good morning," he said. "Because I said it like she was just a person," Rosa said. "Which she is." He looked at his coffee. "I know she's a person," he said. "I know, Rosa said. "But knowing it and feeling it are different things. When you're frightened for someone you love, the fear changes how you're with them. They can feel the fear. It's heavy." He looked at her. "A psychiatrist said something similar," he said. "He was right," Rosa said. "How do you not?" He stopped. "How are you just present without the weight?" She thought about it. "I'm not her father," she said. "That helps. I don't need her to be all right. I just noticed what's interesting." She paused. "The plant, growing without soil. That is genuinely interesting. I didn't show it to her to get a response. I showed it to her because it's interesting, and that's the difference," he said. "Part of it," she said. On the 14th day, Mia left something on the kitchen counter. Not the jar, beside the jar. A piece of paper, folded carefully, with Rosa written on the front in the particular handwriting of an 8-year-old who was taking care with each letter. Rosa found it at 7:30. She looked at it for a moment. She unfolded it. Inside, a drawing, the kitchen, the jar on the windowsill, roots visible in the glass, and 2 figures, small, carefully drawn, standing side by side looking at the jar. Rosa sat down. She looked at the drawing for a long time. She folded it carefully and put it in her pocket. When Mia appeared in the kitchen doorway at 8:15, Rosa was making tea, and the drawing was in her pocket, and she said good morning in exactly the same tone she had said it every morning. Mia came in. She sat at the kitchen table. Rosa set a cup of tea in front of her, not asked, not announced, just tea, and sat across from her, and they sat in the kitchen with the morning light on the jar, and the roots that were growing longer, and the particular comfortable silence of 2 people who had found a way to be in the same space. "The roots are longer," Mia said. She said it quietly, without looking up from the jar, the particular voice of someone who had not used it in a while. Rosa looked at the jar. "Yes," she said. "They are." Neither of them said anything about the fact that Mia had spoken. Neither of them needed to. He was in the hallway when she came out of the kitchen. He had not been listening, or not only listening. He had been in the hallway because he had come home early for the first time in months, and had been standing outside the kitchen door for 45 seconds trying to decide whether to go in, and had been standing there when he heard it. "The roots are longer." 3 words in his daughter's voice. He stood in the hallway until he heard the kitchen chair, and then he walked quickly to his study and sat in it and put his hands on the desk and allowed himself, finally, to feel what he had been not feeling for 14 months, because feeling it had seemed like something he could not afford to do and still function. He stayed in the study for a long time. Rosa knocked at 7. "Dinner is ready," she said, from the other side of the door. "If you want it." He opened the door. She looked at him. She said nothing about his face, which was the particular face of someone who had been crying in a study and was not going to pretend otherwise, and simply looked at him with the direct warmth she brought to everything. "She spoke," he said. "Yes," Rosa said. "About the jar," he said. "Yes," Rosa said. 3 words, he said. "It starts somewhere," Rosa said. "Come and eat." He came and ate. Mia was at the table. She did not speak at dinner, but she was at the table. And when Daniel reached for the salt, she passed it to him before he asked. The particular small attention of someone who was paying attention, and he held the salt for a moment longer than necessary because the gesture had taken his breath away. "Thank you," he said. She looked at her plate. But he saw, before she looked away, the particular expression he had not seen in 14 months. Something that was not quite a smile but was its beginning. The plant grew roots, and other things grew alongside it, gradually, without pressure, in the particular way of things that grow when the conditions are right rather than when someone is trying to make them grow. Mia started talking in the kitchen. Not extensively, not immediately. Single observations, the particular economy of someone who had been silent for long enough that words felt significant and were chosen accordingly. The roots, the the light, the way the water changed color as the roots spread. Questions about things Rosa was making, observations about the day. Rosa answered them, not with the particular carefulness of someone aware they were handling something fragile. With the simple directness she brought to everything, answering the question that was asked, not the question underneath it, not the progress it represented, just the question. Mia began to draw more. The drawings appeared on the counter, for Rosa, always for Rosa, folded with her name on the front. The particular gift economy of a child who had found a currency she trusted. Daniel collected them. Not from Rosa, he did not ask. But he found them after a while, in a small stack that Rosa had left on the kitchen windowsill beside the jar, which had grown so many roots by that point that it had needed a second jar. He looked at the drawings, the kitchen, the jar, the two figures, and in the later ones, a third figure, slightly taller than the other two, standing slightly apart but in the same frame. He understood the third figure. He found Rosa in the garden on a Sunday. Not the kitchen, the garden, which she had started tending in the particular organic way of someone who notices that a thing needs doing and does it without being asked. She was working on the border near the south wall with the focused competence he had come to recognize as her default mode. She looked up when he came out. "Sit down," he said, "please." When you have a moment, she sat. He sat beside her. "I want to ask you something," he said. "All right," she said. "The drawing," he said. "The third figure." She looked at the garden. "She drew it herself," Rosa said. "I didn't suggest it." "I know," he said. "I'm not." He paused. "I'm not asking about the drawing, I'm asking about you." She looked at him. 3 months ago, he said, my daughter had not spoken in 14 months. She is now sitting at the table. She is speaking in the kitchen. She drew a family that includes a third figure. He held her gaze. "That is because of you. Not because of anything you did deliberately. Because of who you are." "She did the work," Rosa said. "She did," he said. "With someone who was worth doing it with." Rosa looked at the border she had been working on. "I'm not a specialist," she said. "I know," he said. "That was the point." "I'm the maid," she said. "You're Rosa," he said. "Who noticed a plant growing without soil and showed it to my daughter because it was interesting. Who said good morning like she was just a person. Who made tea without asking and put it in front of her and said nothing about what it meant." She was quiet. "I'm asking," he said, "if you would consider staying, not as the maid, as," he stopped, "as whatever you want to be. Whatever makes sense to you." "Daniel," she said. "Yes." "She's 8, Rosa said. She needs stability. Not someone who might leave." "I know," he said. "I'm not asking for something casual. What are you asking for?" He looked at the garden, at the border she had been working on, at the wall behind it, at the particular care she brought to a thing that was not her job, and that she had done because it needed doing. "I'm asking," he said, "for you to stay." She looked at him. "Ask Mia," she said. "What?" "Ask Mia," she said again. "If she wants me to stay. She drew you into the family," he said. "Ask her," Rosa said. "She deserves to be asked," he asked her on a Monday evening. Not formally in the kitchen, which was where the important things happened now. At the table, with the second jar on the windowsill. "Mia," he said. She looked up from her drawing. "I want to ask you something," he said. "And I want you to tell me the truth. Even if you think the truth isn't what I want to hear." She put down her pencil. "Rosa," he said. "Would you like her to stay? Not just to work here. To be with us." Mia looked at him. Then she looked at her drawing. She picked up the pencil. She drew something, quickly, with the particular focus of someone who had a clear image. She pushed the paper across the table to him. He looked at it. The kitchen, the jar, the second jar beside it. The 3 figures same as before. But this time she had written something underneath. 3 words, in careful 8-year-old handwriting. "Yes, please, Papa." He held the drawing for a long time. Then he went to find Rosa. She had not spoken in 14 months. The specialist came. The therapist came. The people with clipboards and careful voices and patience that ran out at the end of the session. None of them could reach her. Then a woman said good morning without stopping, without waiting for a response, without the weight of needing something back. Just good morning. Like she was just a person because she was. Here is what we learned. The people who need us most are not reached by our best efforts. They are reached by our absence of effort. Buy the good morning, we say without needing an answer. Buy the tea we put down without explaining why. Buy the plant we show them because it is genuinely interesting, not because we are trying to connect. The trying is the wait. Put it down. Be present without needing anything back. Notice what is interesting. Say it out loud. Keep walking. The door will open. Not because you made it open, Because you stopped trying to make it open. Yes, please, Papa. 3 words. From a child who had not spoken in 14 months. That is everything.